Okay, so the most recent patch of Super Auto Pets nerfed some of the most prevalent scalers, Dragon and Monkey, which means that it kind of indirectly buffs some of the other scalers in the game, such as Penguin, Seal, Cat, those kind of units. So I think this video kind of shows off how good the actual Seal scaling is. I think there's even an argument to be made that Seal is now better than Monkey. And so maybe you should be taking Seal more often. I don't know. I mean, you can try it out for yourself. It's just a pretty good scaler. It works especially well if you can manage to get a Swan early on, but because of the Swan nerf, Swan is a bit more risky and you might sacrifice some lives early on, which isn't great. But Seal can also work decently well without any Swan. It also goes well with like Rabbit, although I don't really recommend taking Rabbit. I think it's usually not the best unit to take, but it does go well with Seal. Or, I mean, not Seal, of course. Seal goes well with Seal. It goes well with Cat, of course. So if you want to go for that combo, it's pretty good. And if you can manage to even get like a bunch of cows, you can also go for. You can just keep a cow on your team and then go for like cow seal. There's also other things you can do though. You can just combine it with some of the other scalers. Like going penguin seal is pretty good, or like monkey seal. There's just you can combine it with like anything. But if you get like two scalers on your team, that's usually a pretty good sign for your team. Anyway, so seal does have some amount of RNG involved because you do need foods that actually target the seal to make sure it hits it. You can buy like sushi and hope for the 60% chance. I mean, usually if I see sushi, I do buy it. But first, I think you want to try to get level 2 seal because its effect will be doubled, and doubling the scaling is just really good. It's kind of like the same thing with dragon, where you usually don't want to go for too much scaling with level 1 dragon. You don't want to go for too much scaling with level 1 seal. You usually want to try to roll for chocolate on turns 9 and 10 when you have a great chance of seeing chocolate, and try to get that level 2 seal as quickly as possible, or at least that's my plan. I mean, you don't have to follow my advice, but like it works sometimes pretty well, I think. I took a swan on turn 6 here. That is far too late to be taking swans normally. I would say that actually turn 5, it's already too late. You want to be looking for like turtle, ox, badger at that point. And I would really only take swans on turns 1. Well, not turns 1, that's not possible. Turns 2, 3, and 4, I guess. Here we run into a dirty rat build. Sadly, it's still terrible. I know, like, the change is fun, and I'm glad they did it, but it's still just so bad. Bought some cans here. To the optimal play here, I remember what happened. So I got early seal, which is great because that's exactly what I wanted. But I should be taking a parrot here or freezing it and buying it the next turn. Parrot ox is just really good tempo, so I would highly recommend doing that. But for this run specifically, I think I make a lot of mistakes because I'll just say I was listening to a podcast. Like, that's my excuse. I was doing something else, so I wasn't focused. But that's just my excuse for being bad a lot of the time. I was just trying to go for as many seals as possible during this run, which means, okay, probably, well, I guess since I bought the parrot, yeah, I was going to combine. But yeah, so I was trying to save as much board space as possible here, which is not really something I normally think about, but it's like, all right, I want to have as many open slots as possible for as many seals as possible. And so that means I was going to plan on selling the ox, and also like the only things that were going to stick around were the swan and mosquito, and I had room for 3 seals. But trying to actually find those seals, it's pretty unlikely. It's going to be like actually just hard rolling for seals. I mean, it's the same thing as like hard rolling for monkey or turkey even. You have like, I think it's like a 67% chance or something like that if you spend 10 gold on turn 9 to find that unit that you're looking for. And that's pretty good odds. Like 2 out of 3 times I would certainly take, but that also means 1 out of the 3 times you're not going to get it. And then you're going to have to spend more rolls on turn 10. And if you don't find it then you'll probably just lose. So it really is kind of an all or nothing thing to roll for a specific unit this late in the game. But I think a lot of the times it does end up being worth it. Like finding turkey for a summoning build is pretty much required. So if you are planning on going summoning, you kind of have to hard roll for that turkey. Here I just take the bison because we have level 3 mosquito, also level 3 swan next turn, which is great. Just get some automatic scaling so I don't lose. That was kind of the problem that I had when I was going for multiple seal runs, is that it's just like, okay, well, I'm spending all of my money just buying seals and I'm not actually buying any food, which is just going to cause me to lose. So I was a little worried we were going to lose this run. It wasn't looking super good, but when you have level 3 Swan, you get to buy so many more things, and it's just a nice advantage to have. We also have a level 2 seal now, so pretty nice. At this point, I mostly just feed chocolate to the seal because it gives, like, you can also think of level 2 seal as giving a free pizza when you buy a food. You're getting like plus one for the chocolate and also a free pizza, so it's even more efficient. And if you get like a pair too, then you're getting so many stats for much cheaper. I guess like if you compare it to a cat though, maybe it's not as good as that. We get level 3 seal. That's very nice. Very lucky. And yeah, and then I see another seal immediately in the shop. I probably should have bought the pair first. That way the buff didn't hit the seal. I just got a little bit lucky anyway. The team's looking pretty nice. It's I'm not really sure what foods to buy when you have seal, to be honest. Like most of the time I would skip salads, like 40% chance to hit the seal, only plus one. Doesn't seem great. But I usually buy sushi, pear, apples, cupcakes. You gotta remember that, like, so you get the temporary stats on the seal, but the buffs that it gives are still permanent, so it's usually worth it. And then pizza is kind of the weird one where I guess, yeah, I still buy pizza. There's only a 40% chance that it hits the seal, but like the stats on the pizza are already just pretty good. So I think it's worth buying those. So I guess those are how many food items I don't even remember, but also like if it doesn't have any equipment, then you can buy like bone attack or steak or splash attack or whatever it is to get a few more stats. Okay, so right there, that is not a play I would recommend doing. We just sold like a 30-30 bison to fit one more seal in there because this is what's most fun. And then I roll into double sushi, which is just, it's looking great for next turn. So we have 3 seals, and this sushi has the potential to hit 3 things. What's gonna happen? Who knows? But it's nice scaling. So if you haven't tried seal out, I would recommend trying it out. You'll probably be pleasantly surprised at how good it actually is. And here we go. The sushi bite, and it hits all 3 seals. Oh boy, isn't that so satisfying? I went for it twice. That time it hit the worst seal, but like it's guaranteed to at least hit one of the seals, right? It has to hit one of them. And since it's the last turn, I just decided to buy garlic on that last seal. But it looks so nice. Having a level 1, 2, and 3 units, it's perfect. And then we got the level 3 Swan and the Mosquito. It was a pretty close arena win, but I guess we managed to clutch it out, right? Not the best stats, not the best team, but pretty good. Like you'll find, I think, that even though there's some RNG involved with food, like you can consistently get some pretty good stats with Seal. Anyway, that's it for this. Thanks for watching. See ya.